This call is being recorded.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
That was three voices. Where's Dane?
Dane's right here.
All right. Okay. Everybody present, do you have your Bible, your Quran, and your Islamic books?
Yes, sir.
Good. Let me ask you a question. Are you guys like sitting in chairs on the sofa while you're listening?
Yes, sir. Sofa.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, before we get started with today's lesson, I want to, have you all been saying your prayers,
Yes,
before
sir.
you go to bed and practicing your prayers every day?
Yes, sir.
I told Amoria to start doing it.
What'd you say?
Oh, I was telling Amoria that you just say your prayers before you go to bed, because that's what my daddy said.
I didn't know. You said Mario said what?
No, I was telling her that my daddy said you should say your prayers before you go to bed.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, have you been saying? Have you been saying your prayers before you go to bed, Mario?
Sir?
Have you been saying your prayers before you go to bed?
I said it the first time, but then I forgot it the last few days.
Oh, okay. Well, it takes time to make something a habit. But just keep doing it, and pretty soon you won't forget. You understand? Are you there?
Yes, sir.
She said yes, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I want to see how well you know your prayers, and we're going to start off. I want to hear you recite the prayer. So, Dane, you first. Let's hear you say your Farad prayer.
Yes, sir. Surely I have turned myself, being upright to him, who originated the heavens and the earth. I am not of the polytheists. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death are all for Allah, Lord of the world. No associate has he, and this am I commanded, and I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King. There is no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been unjust to myself, and I confess my faults. So grant me protection against all my faults, for there are none who grant protection against faults but thee. And guide me to the best of morals, for there are none who guide me to the best of them but thee. And turns away from me the evil morals but thee.
Very good. Very good. Okay, let's see who's next. Kamal, let me hear you say your prayer, son.
Surely I have turned myself being upright to him who originated the heavens and the earth, and I am not of the polytheists. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice, and my life and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of the world. No associate has he, and this am I commanded, and I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King, there is no God but thee.
Okay.
Thou art the Lord, thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been unjust to myself, and I confess my faults. So grant me protection against all my faults. For none grants protection against faults but thee, and God said the best of morals. For none God said the best of morals but thee. He turns away the evil morals but thee. I think I messed up on. I think it was but them or but thee.
That's fine. Okay. Sometimes you get nervous when you're praying in public in front of other people, so it's easy to get nervous and kind of mess up. But I'm sure you know your prayer. Just keep saying your prayers, and pretty soon, you'll be able to say them not only in private, but you'll be able to say them in front of anybody without getting nervous and kind of stumbling over your words a little bit. But you did a great job. Okay, Rafiq, let me say your prayers.
Yes, sir. Surely I have turned myself, being upright to him who originated the heavens and the earth, and I am not of the polytheists. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death are all for Allah, Lord of the worlds. No associate has he, and this am I commanded, and I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King, there is no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been unjust to myself, and I confess my faults. So grant me protection against all my faults, for none grants protection against faults but thee. and guide me to the best of morals, for none guides to the best of them but thee, and turns away from me the evil morals with thee. Amen.
Very good. Mario, let's see you say your prayers, sweetheart.
Yes, sir. Sure, I turn myself, being upright, to him who originates the heavens and the earth, and I am not of the polytheists. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of the world. No associate has he, and this I am commanded, and I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King, there is no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I thy servant. I have been unjust to myself, so grant me protection. I messed up. I confess my faults, so grant me protection against all my faults, for none grants protection against faults but thee, and guides me to the best of morals, for none guides to the best of them but thee, and turns from me away from the evil morals but thee.
Okay. Well, one thing you can do, all you can do until you know it, like the back of your hand. Like for instance, like myself, the version that the Quran prayer you're reading is directly from Message to the Black Man, and the one I recite, I'm in a habit of reciting it. It's in another place in the Message to the Black Man, but it's automatic. I could just say it like, sure I turn myself to thee, O Allah, strive to be totally upright. To him originated the heavens and the earth, and I'm not applied to it. Sure my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, my death, all to thee, Allah, Lord of the world. No associate hast thou, this is my command, and I will go submit. O Allah, thou art the King, there's no God but thee. I'm a Lord, and I'm thy servant. I've been greatly unjust myself and confess my faults. Please grant me protection against my faults, for none grant protection against faults for thee. Please guide me to the best of morals, for none guide to the best of them for thee. Please turn away from me evil morals, for none turn away from me evil morals for thee. See, it's automatic. I don't even have to think. That's how long I've been saying them. That's how long I've been saying my prayer, and I say them sincerely. When I'm driving or I feel the need to pray, it just comes. It's automatic. There's no struggle. I know my prayer. I know my prayer backwards and forwards, and that's how you want to be. And the only way you're going to get like that is that you say them over and over again. Or and sometimes it's what I used to do when I first started studying Islam. I'll have the book open. I would just read it. It didn't make me feel too good about myself, but I really wanted to learn my prayer. So what I did, I would have, even though I was praying to Allah, I would have the book open. I would read it every time I prayed. Since I knew I really didn't know it like I wanted to, I would just read it. And if you do it like that, it'll become a part of it. It's automatic. I don't care if there's an army with 1,000,000 guns aimed at me. I can say it and not miss a beat. That's how well I know my prayer. And that's how you want to be. You just want to be able to say your prayer. This is automatic, like the back of your hand. That's how I know my prayer. But very good. I guess we're gonna keep doing these recitals until y'all get it. Until I hear you say it back the way I said it, just like matter of fact, just bam. We're going to do this recital every Sunday, so you should practice them on a daily basis at your leisure, and if necessary, you need to read it, then close your eyes and say it, and look at the page again, and know it backwards and forward. That's the Farad prayer. Now, as I told you before, that's the even though it's a general precept of a Muslim, we pray 5 times a day. The obligated prayer is the one at 5 a.m. To Master Farad Muhammad. It's called the Farad prayer. However, we do not live in an Islamic society. You should pray if you can pray 20 times a day, do so. You don't have to pray 5 times. The belief in Islam is not 5 times a day prayer. That's not it. It's belief in prayer. I pray all day. I pray whenever I get ready. So since you are in a not the most ideal environment, I ask you to say your prayer. I think the easiest prayer to say is the one before you go to sleep. And as you start to say your prayers before you go to sleep, it'll become a habit, and you'll start to feel good. When I say my prayer, I feel good. It's not a chore. Your grandmother, my mother is gone, and I don't have no one telling me what to do. Your daddy's a grown up, so there's nobody that makes me pray. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so and when I pray, I don't pray in front of other people. It's basically just be by myself. So what I'm trying to tell you is, I'm not saying that you're doing this, but I'm saying this, just for the record. When you know your prayer and you learn your prayer, it backwards and forward. You're gonna feel good about that. And then, if not already, when you say your prayer, you're gonna kind of feel, like you communicate to Allah, and Allah is listening. That's out there. When I say my prayer, it's not an empty or vain recital. I really feel He's listening to me. Like you're sitting there listening to my voice on this phone. We're having a conversation. God is a reality. So when I tell you to pray Master Muhammad, I'm not telling you to pray to some spook or spirit or something that's not there. Master Muhammad can hear our thoughts. He's alive. He's breathing like you with hands and feet. This is a real God. And so anyway, but I want you to study. Keep studying, and you're getting better. You're getting better, Diane. And y'all getting better. Just pretty soon it'll just roll off. And you'll just know it. And you'd be like, well, I don't know why Dad can say pray. He knows we know the prayer. It's like, y'all haven't gotten to that point. But at a certain point, it'd be ridiculous because I'm going to know, you're going to know, we're going to know. We know our prayers, Dad. We don't have to keep doing this. Y'all haven't gotten to that point yet. Y'all almost there. Okay. Well, today, I want to help you to understand. Can everybody hear me? Am I talking too fast? And is my voice clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Today, I want to talk to you about us, meaning black people in America, and I want to help you understand something, because a question may arise. Why were we enslaved? Why did these things happen to us? Why does it seem that black people have bad luck? What is it? Why are we always struggling? Why we got to deal with problems, issues? Why can't things just be normal and happy? Why we got these problems? Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, today I want to help you. I want to help you understand that. Okay. So, example, like I told you, I gave you an order. I gave you a commandment. I told you I want you to study your prayer. And because you studied your prayers, you will never know, what I was going to do to you or what kind of punishment you was going to receive because you obeyed. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Your dad say, okay, and by the way, I'm very, very pleased. I'm very, very happy that, I asked my children one time, study. I want this done, and I had to keep calling and telling you. And that's a very good virtue. But the point I'm making is this: even though disobeying may not even enter your mind, like that might even sound strange to you. The point is, all of our people are not like that. They're not like that today, and they're not like that throughout history. There always have been those among us that displease or disobey Allah. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, had everybody been obedient, and obeyed Allah as they should, we wouldn't have a lot of the problems we have today. And today I'm going to explain to you, in brief, this is Sunday school, I'm going to just kind of lay it out for you in simple and easy, digestible terms to get a grasp on, so you can have some understanding, while you're out there. All right, so what we're going to do, before we open the scripture, now you all are aware that, well, you may not be aware, but let me just tell you, we were enslaved. Our slavery, our sojourn in slavery in this country began in the year 1555. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's when we became enslaved. We were slaves in this country for over 400 years. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you may have watched my video series. I know Rafiq has watched it in its entirety. I don't know which videos you are watching, but in my videos, I kind of talk about this, that the only people that was enslaved to any other people was us. The Jews were never enslaved. And in my video series, War of Christ, I showed that, that according to the archaeological record, there's no proof that those white Jews was in Black Egypt being enslaved by black people for 400 years. So what you read of about slavery in Egypt by Jews, that is a metaphorical or symbolic prophecy of another people, in particular black people. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So we are the people of the book, meaning we are the people that the book was talking about that's going to be enslaved for 400 years. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, okay. Well, let's talk about this enslavement. Let's get an understanding of it. What I want you to do is go to the very first book of the Bible, Genesis, and turn to the 15th chapter. And I know y'all may have 3 Bibles, so one of y'all gonna have to share. Please allow me to send another one. I bought 4, but one of them wasn't the most correct version I want y'all to have. I know y'all got 3 Bibles, so just turn to it. We're gonna start in the 15th chapter of Genesis. Let me know when y'all at the 15th chapter.
Yes, sir. Were you looking? No, I mean it's on page 19.
Okay. Y'all found it?
Damn. It's the first book of the Bible.
There's some small pages. I can't get my big phone around them.
You were in the middle of the book. Come on, you got it? Diane?
Yeah.
All right, we all have it.
Okay, very good. Let me see. Rafiq, I want you to go ahead and read chapter 15, verses 12 through 14.
Yes, sir. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abraham, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abraham, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them for 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance.
Okay, now the Bible you read, Rafiq, does it say Abraham or does it say Abram?
Abram. Oh, I said Abraham.
No problem. Diane, read chapter 15, verses 12 through 14. Are y'all there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You said 15.
Read the same verses Rafiq just read. Chapter 15, verses 12 through 14.
Yes, sir. When the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abraham, and lo, and horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abraham, Know of surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation who that shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance.
All right. Dang, the Bible you're reading, does it say Abraham or Abram?
Abram.
Come on, read chapter 15, verses 12 through 14.
Page actually. No, chapter 15, verse 12 through 14. You know what that means. That Kamal doesn't know what a verse is. I do.
The verse is the number. Come on, do you have the book of Genesis open?
Yes, sir.
Okay, a verse is the number next to the sentence. Okay, you should be. Do you see the word chapter 15?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and if you look under chapter 15, you'll see You'll see different paragraphs with numbers in front of them. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, when you see a number in front of each paragraph, each number represents a verse. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
A verse is like a section of a chapter. You're in chapter 15, and each number is a particular section, or what we call a verse of the chapter. It's just a part of the chapter. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So chapter 15 has 21 parts. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Or 21 verses. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, Daddy wants you to read verses 12 through 14, or parts 12, 13, and 14.
So will that first word be just chapter 12?
Sir?
Will the first word be on chapter 12?
And when the sun. You should see a number say 12.
Okay. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, an honor of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, Now know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years, and also that nation whom they shall serve with them. And afterwards shall they come out with great substance.
All right. So here in chapter 15 of the book of Genesis, we see here a prophecy that Abraham's descendants, or Abraham's seed, was going to be enslaved. You know, they was going to serve another people, and those people was going to afflict them for 400 years. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, this applies to us. Okay, we are the people. We are Abraham's seed, and we are the people that was enslaved for 400 years. And the nation that we were enslaved to was America, or the white nation. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let me ask. Diane, what is a debt?
What is a debt?
What is a debt?
Yes. You owe someone something, right?
Correct. Rafi,
Sir.
what is a surety?
I'm sorry. What is a what?
What is a? If you don't be alarmed. If you don't know, don't worry about it. What is a surety? S-U-R-E-T-Y. If you don't know, look it up and tell me what a surety is.
Doesn't it have a base word of just the word sure?
It does, but look it up. S-U-R-E-T-Y. Tell me what a surety is.
All right. A surety is a person who takes responsibility for another's performance of an undertaking, for example, their appearance in court or payment of a debt. Money given to an undertaking.
That's enough.
Right.
It says a person who takes responsibility for the performance of an undertaking, for example, someone appearing in court or the payment of a debt. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Ain told you that a debt is something that you owe. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Rafiq, what did God say to Abraham in the 13th verse? What did he tell him to know of?
To know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs.
Stop right there. God told Abraham, know of a surety. And Dain, we know that a surety is a what?
A person who takes responsibilities for another's performance.
Okay. Well, you was pretty good at summing stuff up. Know of a surety. A surety, quick way to understand it, a surety is a debt that somebody else is going to pay for. You understand?
Oh, yes, sir.
So it's a debt. So in the 13th verse, God told Abraham, look, know of a surety, meaning, that your seed is going to be a stranger in the land. Your seed is going to pay a price, a debt, for something in the word that they're paying a debt for someone else. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, and he told them that they're going to pay a debt to another people for 400 years. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the question becomes, what is the debt? And why does somebody else have to take responsibility for the debt of another? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
See, these are questions, children, that the majority or 99% of your people in this country don't even think about. The only thing they know is that they were enslaved in 1865, they were freed, and they may even know this prophecy, but that's about as far as their mind goes. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
But we are scientists. We are mathematicians. We kind of want to know what's going on here. We don't want to be guessing at the situation. We want to know exactly why we're in this condition. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And that's what we're about to discuss right now. So we understand from here in verse 13 that Abraham's children or his descendants are going to pay a debt, a surety. They're going to act as a guarantee or surety for somebody else's debt, and they're going to be enslaved for 400 years, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, the question becomes, what is the debt? Does anybody in there know what debt that God was talking about that Abraham's seed was going to have to pay?
Slavery? Is there one?
Sorry?
Slavery?
Okay, slavery is the payment for the debt. Do anybody know why they had to pay it in the first place? Why do they owe this debt? Does anybody know?
No, sir.
Okay, and neither does your people, for the most part. Now, the debt is this. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad didn't get into the specifics of it, but this is the debt, children. Years ago, thousands of years ago, your forefathers, as the most honorable Elijah Muhammad put it, committed a disrespect to Allah. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you disrespect Allah, what did I tell you? Remember when we was having that conversation about those two black men that got shot by the police?
Yes, sir.
Remember I told you that there are consequences for rejection or consequences for disobeying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And they had, and Alton Sterling and Baton Rouge and Philando Castile in Minnesota paid the price for that. They were murdered,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So they paid the ultimate price, didn't they?
Yes, sir.
They were killed. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
But notice, I said they paid the ultimate price, meaning they paid a debt. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you should begin. Now your brain should be starting to spin about what we're reading in this verse here. Okay. So God told Abram, "Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs." Okay, so I asked you all, what was the debt that Abraham's seed was going to be a surety for? And y'all said y'all didn't know. And I told you, well, you people don't know either. Now, let's get back to it. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad mentioned, he didn't go into specifics, that the reason why we were allowed to come to this position that we came to with white people was because of an early disrespect to Allah. We disobeyed or disrespected the commandment of God. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, that's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us. Okay, so let's try to find out a little bit more about this debt. So what I want you to do is turn to the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy. I think that's that should be like the 5th or 6th book of the Bible, right after should be after you got after Exodus and Numbers. It's the book after Numbers. It's called Deuteronomy. It's in the front of the Bible. You're in Genesis. The next book should be Exodus, and then Numbers. It's like the 4th book. It should be Deuteronomy. Is everyone looking for it?
I have it. I have it.
Okay. Okay, what I want you to do is turn to the 28th chapter. Has everyone gotten? Okay, you're probably still turning to the 28th chapter.
Yes, yes, sir.
You said chapter 28.
Yeah, I did.
Mom told me page 200. You said 180. Something like that.
Yeah, that would be easier, quicker. Yeah, just
Page
tell the page
312.
number. Okay, now, are y'all there?
Yes, sir.
All right, Naeem, read verse 15.
Yes, sir. Hold on one sec. All right. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah,
statute.
that's correct.
And the statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Okay, here in chapter 28 of the book of Deuteronomy, in verse 15, we are being told what's going to happen if you don't obey the voice or the word of God, the voice of the Lord of thy God. He said, if you don't obey my commandments, and a statute is a law. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The word statute is a fancy word for law. He said, if you don't do as I command you and obey my laws, obey my statutes, these curses are going to come upon me. And in the book of Deuteronomy, it gives curses or the punishments that you're going to suffer if you don't obey. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, so what we have here is there's a price. If you don't obey my word, you're going to suffer some consequences. You're going to have to pay. If you disobey me, you're going to pay. I'm going to make you answer for not obeying me. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So if God's telling these people, now listen, if you don't do what I tell you to do, you're going to pay. Meaning, you're going to owe a debt. You're going to have to pay. I'm gonna punish you for this. Okay. So here we see the threat, or the understanding. There's going to be a price for this. There's going to be a debt here. Okay. So and what did I tell you before? The most honorable Elijah Muhammad told us that the reason why we were enslaved or allowed to go into slavery is because we thousands and thousands of years ago, our forefathers disrespected Allah. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Rafiq, read. No, come on. Read verse 47 of this chapter, and Rafiq, you read verse 48.
Yes, sir. Sure is. 47.
You said 47?
He said 47. I heard him wrong.
Come on, read 47. Read that verse, and Rafiq, you read the next verse, 48.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyful and gladness of heart for the abundance of all things.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, and he shall have destroyed thee.
Now, when our people was enslaved, what did the white man put around our feet and around our forefathers' neck?
Chains? Yeah, chains.
Iron chains, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, remember, didn't we read in the book of Genesis in chapter 15 that God told Abram, he said, know of a surety that thy seed is going to go into slavery for 400 years. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we've learned why. Because God warned them in verse 15 of the 28th chapter of the book of Deuteronomy, if you disobey my commandments, you don't heed my word, you're going to suffer these curses. You're going to suffer for doing this. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And then we find out in verses 47 and 48, what the debt was. The debt is slavery. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
Because he said that your people, that you're going to go in the hands of your enemies, and they're going to put a yoke of iron around your neck. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
These things happened. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there are consequences for disobeying Allah. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
One moment. Now, let's turn, one moment. Excuse me. Let's go to the book of Numbers, chapter 14. So just go back to the previous book, the Numbers, chapter 14.
$288. Sure. 200. Why'd you say 288? Did I say 88?
Okay.
I'm at 28.
Okay, go to Numbers chapter 14, verse 18.
2:27. Yes, sir. Oh, you got it? Yeah. All right, we're ready.
Okay. For the interest of time, I'm going to go ahead and read this verse. One moment. Okay, so go to verse 18.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, let me see for a moment. Hold on. Amaria, do you want to read the verse, or do you want Daddy to read it? Amaria.
Oh, yeah, sir, I want to read it.
Okay. Read verse 18, sweetheart.
Lord is long suffering and of great mercy, forgiving
Iniquity.
and
Transgression.
and by no means sparing the guilty, visiting the
Iniquity.
of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation.
Now, in the book of Numbers, we see where it is written, or it's the law, that the sins of the fathers shall be visited upon the children. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That means that the sins, the transgression, if your forefathers do something, that greatly offends Allah, He's going to take it. Allah can be so angry, He'll take it out upon your children unto four and three generations, meaning up to 7 generations. The point is, the point I'm making with this verse is this: that when your forefathers, according to the law, greatly offend Allah, He will punish your children. He will get you. And if He don't get you, He's going to get your children. Your children will pay for your sin. Your children will pay that debt to Allah for you disrespecting or disobeying Him. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, according to my knowledge, that law has not changed. And this is but let me step aside here for one moment before I get back to our lesson. This is one of the reasons I try my best to always obey Allah, because of you. You all sitting in that room right now. I pray, and I'm trying my best to do Allah's will and please Allah, because I don't want you to have to pay for something that I do. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So I love Allah and I fear Allah. I fear to displease Him, because I need Him, and I don't want my children to suffer. So, I know what the law is. I know what the scriptures say. So I do my best and always pray for forgiveness, even if I come up short or transgress, because I want my children to be unharmed. I want my children to be safe and happy, and I don't want my children to have to pay for something that I've done. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
See, I'm walking you through the laws of God. I'm trying to give you an understanding, because one day you're going to be in my position. You're going to have children of your own, and you may not be able to understand this now, but when you get your own children, you're going to love your children, and you will fight and kill somebody that bothers your children. And at the same time, if you're walking with God, you're going to be a righteous person, because you want God to protect your children, because you don't want your children getting shot, killed, murdered, and mistreated at the hands of evil people. You want God to protect them, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so anyway, I'm walking you through these things so you have a full understanding. Now, let's get back. So we see here in the 18th verse of the 14th chapter of the book of Numbers that the sins, of the, it said that the Lord is long suffering, meaning
you know, the Lord put up with a lot. But at a certain point, if you anger him enough, he will exact retribution upon you and your seed. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's why I say he's long suffering. Meaning, you know, I mean, you're not gonna get like judged unto eternity because you did one thing or something minor. Because the book said the Lord is long suffering, meaning merciful. But continue acts, repeated acts of disobedience and disrespect. Even though the Lord is very merciful and loving, you can anger him to a point where he'll deal with you and your seed. Even after you die, he'll still keep putting it on you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Allah is no joke. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, so, one moment. So let's go back. To Deuteronomy. If you turn back, so I should have told you to hold it. Put your finger there before we turn to the book of Numbers. Go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 47. Let me know when you get there.
Three 14. What's that? There.
You there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, this is Sunday school, so I'm about to bring this part of this lecture to a close. I'm gonna leave you with something because we're going to be talking about this probably next week and the week after. But what your father's doing for you now, I'm giving you knowledge and understanding, you know, of the Word of God as it relates to your people that your people don't even know. So you may not realize it, but you're being given knowledge, the wisdom of the time you're in. You are receiving knowledge that the majority of your people are not receiving. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You are understanding things that the majority of your people don't. They don't know why things are happening or happen and what to expect. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
But you do. And, you know, and as you continue to attend Sunday school and listen to your father and walk with Allah, you're going to become wiser and wiser and wiser and wiser. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Meaning, as you're going to enjoy more wisdom and you're going to enjoy more peace and happiness. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You're going to be raised in wisdom. You're going to enjoy peace. You're going to have lots of prosperity, meaning money or wealth. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Money is like the money or cash you have in your pocket, and wealth is like houses and cars and land. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So you stay on this path that I'm placing you on. You walk with Allah as I'm sealing Farad in your mind. And what I want for you is what I didn't have. I want you at an early and tender age to walk with Allah and have a peaceful and smooth life. I don't want you to have to go through the things I went through. I went through a lot. I'm not going to get into it, but believe me, take my word for it. I went through a lot. So I don't want that for you. I want your life to be peaceful, you know, and happy. And I want you to grow wise. And I want you to live a very, very long time. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let me read verse 47 and leave you with this. We're going to continue this lecture next Sunday. Now, verse 47 of chapter 28 reads, "Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and gladness of heart for the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee." Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, You know, children, you are truly blessed. So even though I'm gonna post this on the internet, a lot of people not even looking at it. But even so, you're the first to even hear this. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here we go. Now it says, "Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and gladness of heart." So when we read verse 47, it says that these people are going to be punished because they were unhappy with what they were given. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's talk about this now. Before white people were made by Yaqub 6,000 years ago, black people were in a heavenly condition. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Meaning, we had it all. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We had it all. There were problems, of course, but it was nothing like it was today. The planet there was nothing here but black people. We were in heaven. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, one moment. Now, but something happened about over 6,000 years ago, right? A black man named Yaqub decided to make the devil, didn't he?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let me say this because you can read it later at your leisure, but everything your father's telling you is the truth. That's all I'm teaching. Listen, Yaqub, remember, now, before white people came to planet Earth, before white people were made, what kind of condition was our people living in?
Before, they were in paradise. Heavenly conditions. Yeah.
They were in paradise or a heavenly condition. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, in the book Message to the Black Man, starting at page 100, you can read it later on at your leisure if you choose. I'm just teaching you right now. The man that made white people, his name was Yaqub. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yaqub was born out of a particular group of black people in heaven that were not happy, dissatisfied. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Master Farad Muhammad told us that the dissatisfaction percentage of black people over 6,000 years ago was that 70% of black people were happy. Everything was cool. But 30% were unhappy. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And what Master Farad Muhammad taught the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, that these unhappy black people, it was like 30% of them in paradise, they were unhappy and they were lazy. They were, even though they were in a heavenly condition, they still wasn't satisfied. They wanted other people to work for them. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
They wanted servants and slaves. There were black people in paradise in heaven. They had everything, but they still wasn't happy. They wasn't happy with having an earth and abundance and wealth. They still wanted more. Not only did they want what they had, they wanted slaves too. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So if you are unhappy, are you a glad person?
No, sir.
If you are unhappy, are you filled with joy?
No, sir.
Okay. If we go back to verse 47, we read, "Because thou servest not the Lord thy God, because thou servest not Allah with joyfulness and gladness of heart for the abundance of all things," meaning for your heavenly conditions, "therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee." Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So because we didn't have joy and gladness for the heavenly condition we were in, the first sentence of verse 48 says what, Daim?
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things.
All right. So, and he's going to put a yoke of iron on your neck. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So we were going to be enslaved, and during this enslavement, what happened when we were enslaved? Didn't the white man kill a lot of us and shed our blood?
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
The white man made trouble. He went to Africa and he kidnapped us, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
He was causing mischief, meaning he was breaking laws and he was shedding our blood, wasn't he?
Yes, sir.
One moment. One moment here. Now, get your Holy Quran and turn to chapter 2.
Are you guys in chapter 2? Trying to find like your first
Keep your Bible open and grab your Quran and open it to chapter 2. Have y'all got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, turn to verse 30.
Amen. We're there.
Okay. Rafiq, read verse 30.
Yes, sir. And when thy Lord said to the angels, I am going to place a ruler in the earth, they said, Wilt thou place it in such as make Wilt thou place it such as make mischief in it and shed blood? And we celebrate thy praise and extol thy holiness. He said, Surely I know what you know not.
So, here in the Quran, chapter 2, verse 30, as Rafiq just read, the Lord, or Allah said, or the Lord here said he's going to do what? What is he going to put in the earth?
A ruler.
A ruler. And what is this ruler going to do?
Make mischief and shed blood.
Okay. So, when we read in the Quran that the Lord said he's going to place a ruler in the earth, let me ask you a question. If I am going to place a box of honey bunches of oats in your house, if I'm going to do that, right? If I want to place some food in the house, how does your father place food in the house right now? How do I do that?
You order it online and have it shipped to our house.
I send it, don't I?
Yes, sir.
So when the Quran says, the Lord told the angels, I'm going to place a ruler in the earth, that means he's going to send a ruler, isn't he?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Daim, read verse 38 of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. Read verse 48 again. Read the first sentence up to the comma.
said verse 38 of Deuteronomy.
Verse 48 of the chapter. It should be already open. Read verse 48.
48. I keep hearing that. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Right. Now, here we have it. In the Holy Quran, it says, the Lord said to the angels, I'm going to place a ruler in the earth. I'm going to send a ruler. And then in the Bible, it says in verse 48, therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
If somebody comes among you making trouble and shedding your blood or killing you, isn't that your enemy?
Yes, sir.
Right. So we see that the Holy Quran, chapter 2, verse 30, and we see that in the Bible, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48, is talking about the same thing. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now remember I told you that Yaqub was born of the black people who were on earth in a very heavenly condition, but they were not happy. Remember I told you that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And yet remember I taught you before that Yaqub, when he was 6 years old, he looked up at his uncle. He said, Uncle, when I become an old man, I'm going to make a people that's going to rule you. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, now we're getting to it. So in the Holy Quran, we know who said what God this is talking about, or who said this, and who carried out the will of Allah. It was Yaqub. Yaqub is that one that said that he was going to make somebody that his uncle said that's going to shed blood in the land. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Yaqub was born of 30% of what kind of black people?
30%.
Huh?
30%.
30%. And these 30, were these 30% of black people that Yaqub was born from, were they happy?
No, sir.
They were dissatisfied, wasn't they?
Yes, sir.
They were unhappy in heaven, right?
Yes, sir.
And if you are in heaven, isn't it true that you get basically anything you want? You have an abundance of everything? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Yaqub was born among the black people that was in heaven that was unhappy in heaven. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
So we go back to verse 47 of Deuteronomy. It says, because thou servest not the Lord thy God, because thou servest not Allah, with joyfulness and gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore, thou shalt serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Now, remember, I told you that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the reason why we were put in slavery, and we went through this, the reason why this happened because we disrespected Allah. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, he said disrespect. Kamal, what is respect? What is respect, Kamal?
Respect?
What is respect?
Respect is something that you should want, and respect is something that you should want.
Okay. Remember when you and Rafiq was having a little issue, and you asked your dad, so how can you give respect when you're not being respected? Remember you told me that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you know what respect is, don't you?
Yes, sir.
So if somebody disrespects Kamal or disrespects Rafiq, if you when you're disrespected, you don't like that, do you?
No, sir.
Okay, let me ask you a question. How do you think your dad would feel if I found out that, that y'all taking up those boxes of cereal that I bought and pouring it down the toilet and flushing it down the toilet? Do you think that would make me angry?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What if I find out that Diane took that PlayStation 4 I bought and went outside and threw it on the ground and broken into a million pieces. Do you think that would make me mad?
Yes, sir.
What if y'all went in there and took, I don't know, 20 cans of salmon, opened it, and just threw it outside and fed it to the dogs? Do you think I would be happy with that?
No, sir.
Okay. So you have an abundance of food. You have an abundance of a lot of things I bought you. Meaning you have a lot of it. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you start wasting, or for whatever reason you seem not to be happy with all the blessings I'm giving you, aren't you disrespecting me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So because thou servest not Allah, because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things, therefore shall thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So the most honorable Elijah Muhammad told us that Yaqub came from a people that was unhappy in heaven. That was because 6,000 years ago the devil wasn't here. White people wasn't here, was they?
No, yes, sir.
Okay. If the devil is not here, and the only people on planet Earth is that, meaning the only people here is you, you're in a heavenly condition, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, so we're gonna that's where we're gonna leave it, and we're gonna pick up with this next week. But now, when I post this online, you should go back and listen to this lecture. But you should now begin to see why we went through certain things. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we know. So here we know that the disrespect. We wasn't happy with what Allah gave us. Some of us, we wasn't happy with that. We disrespected her. We wasn't thankful for Allah's blessings. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So to sum up this lesson, since we were unthankful, and since we did not serve the Lord with kindness and joyfulness, there was a debt to be paid. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
We were going, since our forefathers disrespected Allah, then we had to suffer the consequences. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So God told Abraham, know of a surety, know of a debt that your children are going to have to pay, that they're going to be slaves. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So the reason why we were enslaved or allowed to be enslaved by the white man is because we disrespected Allah. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. But don't think that left the white man off the hook. We're going to get back to that devil next week. But for today's lesson, you now understand why the things that happened to us was allowed to happen to us. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. All
right. Now, we'll pick this up next week. Are there any questions?
Yes, sir.
Whoever has a question, go ahead and speak.
All right, Dad, before every prayer, is it necessary, well, not necessary, is it absolutely required that you wash up and, do your eyes, nose, ears, mouth?
When you have formal prayer, you're, let me ask you the question. Yeah, you want to, the reason why you wash your hands, you wash your face, you wash your nostrils and your head and your ears, because it's symbolic, meaning you wash your hands with clean water to clean your hands of any misdeeds you may have committed with your hands. You wash your mouth out for any words that were not good that came out of your mouth, that you may have said something that offended someone, or you may have said something that broke someone's peace, or you may, you want to wash your mouth out for anything you may have said that you didn't even realize that you said that may have hurt someone. You wash your eyes, for any evil. You wash your face, so to speak, for anything, for because when you're out in society, and and evil is going on around you, it has an effect on you. And that's why we pray So, you're washing your face for anything that you may have witnessed of evil that may adversely affect your mind. Then your ears, you wash your ears out for any people that's cursing or any bad words or words that broke your peace or words that broke someone else's peace that you love. You wash your ears out. And then you wash your forearm. So that's formal ablution. That's a form of respect. Because you're going to Allah and you're going to pray to Allah. So you do all of those, you do that ritual, you do those things you're paying respect. It's symbolic. Now, is it absolutely necessary to do that to pray to Allah? No. If you're out somewhere, you can pray to Allah whenever you get ready. Okay? But if it is not convenient for you and you want to pray, you're not near a bathroom or for whatever reason it's not convenient for you, then you can pray to your God, talk to Allah whenever you get ready. You ain't got to go through all that. But, if you're home, you're not at school, you're home, the bathroom is right there, and you want to pray to Allah, why not? Why not go in the bathroom and, roll up your sleeves and, wash your arms and, your mouth out 3 times, wash your forearm, your right forearm 3 times, your left forearm 3 times, your face 3 times, your mouth 3 times, your nostril 3 times, your ear 3 times, and your hair in your head. Why not? Don't you want to come before your God clean?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, Islam is a natural religion, Rafiq, children. It's a natural religion. It's not a burden. It's an easy religion to practice. It's practical. It's not a burden. You should never drudge or dread. Oh, I gotta go pray to Allah. Oh no. It should never be that way. Prayer is a wonderful thing to do to God. So to answer your question, son, if you are able to do that, you're not pressed for time, you're not late, and you want to give you want to show Allah respect. So you go have ablution. But if you're in a situation, where you're not near a facility to clean yourself, or the facility that you're near you don't feel is clean enough for you to even be in to have ablution or whatever, you just pray to Allah. You pray to Him anytime, no matter what. But whenever you have the opportunity, you do so. That's how I do. I pray. If I'm not near a bathroom or somewhere, and sometimes when I'm out in the public and I want to pray, if the bathroom stinks, I won't go in there. I pray. I'll just go pray to Allah. I'm not gonna go in no nasty bathroom or whatever and wash up a prayer in a nasty public bathroom. I just won't do it. I'd rather just pray to Allah as I am. But if I'm like for you, if I'm home or something, I'm gonna pray to my God. I'll have that because I want to show Him how much I love Him and how much I respect Him. So to answer to your question, son, you can have, if you are able to have ablution, pray to Allah. But by all means, whenever you feel the need, ablution or not, you pray to Allah. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, who's that? Has another question? Come on.
Yes, sir. Dad.
Yes, sir.
What are some things you can do to obey God? And how do you not disobey?
I can't understand you. What did you say?
What are some things you can do to obey God, and how do you not disobey Him? How do you not obey Him?
The answer for that, Kamal, the greatest way you can obey God is to be a peaceful person. Practice the ways of peace. You want a general way to obey God. It's not hard. It's not, you have to read no book. Be peaceful. Practice peace. That's the greatest way you can ever obey Allah, is to be peaceful. Understand?
Yes, sir.
So if you try to figure out, well, man, what can I do to obey God? Be peaceful. Be at peace and be peaceful around others. That's the greatest way you can obey Allah. Because Islam is Allah loves peace. So if you are a peaceful person, and all around you is peace, and you seek to be peaceful with everyone you come in contact with, humble, you are serving God. You are serving Allah. Next question.
Any other questions?
Else?
Amari has one. Amari has one.
The question, sweetheart.
That what does it mean on the morning prayer? What does it mean by who originates the heavens and the earth?
What did you say? What did you say?
Ask you a question.
Sir?
No, Rafiq, tell me what she said.
She said, what does it mean in the morning prayer when it says, by who originated the heavens and the earth?
Okay, when it says to thee who originated the heavens and the earth, the one that originated the heavens and the earth, meaning created or made the world, Amaria, that's Allah. Now, we pray to Master Farad Muhammad. Now, Master Farad Muhammad was not here 76 trillion years ago at the very beginning. He was just born in 1877. But yet we pray to Allah, Master Farad Muhammad. Well, this Master Farad Muhammad has the wisdom or the ability of the very first Allah to create the universe. We turn to him who originated in the earth, meaning we turn to him that has the same power to originate the heavens and the earth. Master Farad Muhammad has the power or the ability to destroy the universe and make another one if he wants to. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So Master Farad Muhammad has the wisdom and knowledge of how to originate the heavens and the earth. So we turn to him that originated the heavens and the earth because Master Farad Muhammad has that same wisdom inside of him, or that mind, so to speak, that the first God has. So we are turning. So when we turn to Master Farad Muhammad, we turn to him. We are turning to the King of Kings, the God of gods. You know, so he has the power. He's more powerful than any other God that has come before him. So he has the same power, you know, of the God that created the universe. So we turn to him that originated the heavens and the earth. That's Master Farad Muhammad because he has that wisdom of that first God. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody else?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, your dad's gonna do his best to get this lesson up. I got posted one from last week too, but I've been kind of tied up, so to speak. But anyway, I'm gonna post this lesson, and you do well to, you know, on one of your video days, you know, whenever it's posted, check it out. And we're gonna continue this subject next week concerning, you know, what we're talking about as far as while we were enslaved. And next week we're gonna talk about us coming out and what's gonna happen, you know, once we come out of slavery. We're gonna kind of touch on that. So if there are no more questions, make sure that after the meeting, when you see your mother, hug and kiss your mother every opportunity that you have, because once your mother is not there, you don't want to be filled with regret. You know, so when next time you see your mother, you make sure you give your mother a big hug and a big kiss, and tell your mother you love her. Tell her that every chance you get, because that's your mommy. Honor your mother. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Until next week, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Well, I've been sitting here all day, I've been sitting in this waiting room,